Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Yes.
Cowabunga, baby.
Fuck!
Cowabunga, baby.
Cowabunga.
So we have a pretty exciting day today. By the way, would I get fired if I didn't pull this up at the office? Because I'm gonna go a little bit rogue, but I'm still trying to get in there. But like, would you like require it up, Dan?
I wouldn't require it. I think agency and free will is a pretty critical component to making good choices. If you want to look like a baller, yeah, push it up. If you want to look like some kind of doofus, keep it how it is.
All right. All right. So we're going to do it live. Hey, today we're going to follow on, right? We're talking about compound conversations. Now, Sandler has been taking advantage of what we call activated leads with phone rate leads. Today, just like last week, we only had like 4. Was that right? We had 4 last week. You were like connected with 3 or 4. Today we had like 21 of those. So Dan and Alba are going to be following up with like more of the Dan Bagger leads. We have talked to them. They expressed some interest. We sent it out. Now they're going to follow up with it. We're going to get right into that action. So for those who are tuning in, this is like a whole nother world, right? How do you turn cold calls to warm calls? Well, you do that through 1, phone rate leads, 2, activated leads, 3, cowabunga, baby. So let's get it going. I don't know if I'm going to make any.
Cowabunga, baby.
Fuck!
I don't know if I personally am going to make any calls today, but I might have to jump in case you guys are not getting there, right? So sometimes I have to kind of play my reverse skippo card, but let's turn the keys over. I actually want to see what happens when Dan Bigelow, the CEO, makes a call against people who said they were somewhat interested and they got an email. What's going to happen? So Dan's going to load up a list of people that were called ahead of time. We've always seen that this is going to be a high connect rate, but like what happens next when like most people don't experience this. So let's see what happens next. What happens when the CEO of a company follows up after, let's say an SDR said, let me send you some information. That's what we're going to show today and see if this might be a pretty impactful use case, right? It doesn't necessarily need to be the CEO, but what happens? And then we'll see what the CEO does. And we'll also see what the senior consultant does with Alba. And let's do it live. Does that sound fair today?
Sounds good. And anyone watching, who cares what your title is? Make the call. But Ryan, give a slight bit of context on these calls, why they're different than the ones we've called each week. What's slightly different on these ones, even though you explained it, and then we'll fire away.
Yeah. So the difference between these calls, normally they're super cold, right? Nobody knows who the heck we are. We were calling out of the blue. We know they pick up the phone, but we don't know if they actually have a sales team, etc. These calls, we've actually called them. We ran the initial script and we actually asked them the question like, hey, do you actually have a sales team that makes calls? Sure. Great. This is what we do. Would you like to learn more? So they've actually expressed some intent. This is like, I don't know. This is like the next level intent. This is actually real intent, conversational intent. That's the difference here, right? Like we've actually called the same list we were calling before, but we actually asked them a couple questions around, do they have teams making calls like we were doing today? Would they be curious? Send us some information. Now we're following up. And it's being done by, lo and behold, the CEO and the senior consultant. Let's see what happens. Also, while the phone's ringing, don't forget about the headset giveaway by a headset advisor. Learn something today, chat it in, and you'll get a free headset as well as free copies of the books, Outbound Sales No Fluff,
Thank you
and
for calling Linear. We're sorry we missed your call. Please feel free to leave us a
Sales
message.
Development.
So
So that was one call. Does it all.
This is a baller. This guy probably has 800 employees. And it's also, you can research leads, but don't spend hours researching. Just press dial because maybe they never answer.
ClearLink IT, this is Scott.
Hey, Scott. Dan Bigelow, Sandler Training.
I'm sorry, Dan, who are you with?
Sandler Training. Not sure if that name sounds familiar.
I'm having trouble hearing you for some reason.
Wasn't sure if it would. Maybe let me fix my headset a little. I actually used to work at ClearLink about 15 years ago, maybe 12 years ago. But can I briefly explain kind of why I reached out, Scott, and you let me know if it even makes sense to talk?
Let me switch to my headset. One sec. Let's see if I can hear you better now.
Cool. How's the audio sound now? Maybe it's my side, maybe it's your side.
I hear you. It sounds like you're echoey or something. So
Okay.
I'll try to make out what you're saying. So you said you used to work for ClearLink?
Yeah, it was
the
about
marketing company.
Yeah, about 12 years ago. But I'm just looking you up now. I'm showing you that it says CEO and engineer. So are you running the whole show over there at ClearLink, or are you doing all the IT stuff?
We're ClearLink IT. We're not the same company.
Okay.
We do IT. We're an MSP.
Perfect. Okay, because that's what I was thinking. I was like, well, Scott, let me briefly explain kind of why I reached out, and then you let me know if it even makes sense to talk. So our company works with a lot of successful managed service IT companies. When I talk to successful executives, they tell me things like, hey, our business is good, we're scaling, we're just not growing at the rate we'd like. We're keeping clients, we're just not adding enough new clients. Others tell me things like, Dan, we've got a great service, we do a good job, but we're just not setting enough new first appointments. And then lastly, some of them tell me, hey, we're good, we can bring on clients, we're just not selling kind of our full service or our other services. Let me take a step back, Scott. I don't imagine you probably don't have any of those challenges, do you?
I've got plenty of challenges. Tell me again what your company name was. I couldn't quite make that out.
Yeah, and sorry for the poor audio connection. So Sandler Training, or a training and consulting firm.
Okay, just say the company name.
Sandler, Sandler.
Sandler. Got it. Just kept, every time you said it before, it was
down, right? Sandler Sales Training. Sandler Sales Training.
So you're basically doing kind of sales training. That's essentially your
So we've just
training that you do.
we do kind of two areas. One is scaling companies, and for whatever reason, we've had a lot of success in your industry. I think partly is you guys are smart guys, process oriented. So some groups we work with, it's more on growing and scaling their companies. Others are more about prospecting, selling, strategic sales. Are you doing most of the business development yourself, Scott, or do you have a team that's doing it all for you?
Kind of a team between kind of a full-time sales guy and a couple of consultants.
Okay. And are your consultants like crushing quota? They're 100% a quota, or are they maybe dropping the ball a little bit?
Well, I wouldn't say that we've crushed any quotas. We're definitely It's still a work in progress. Let's put it that way.
Is it kind of one of those things where you do all the sales, but you're trying to help them get some, but maybe they're not carrying their weight?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure. I'd certainly say that the sales guy himself is struggling to get good traction. I think my consulting guys are kind of doing their job pretty well. I mean, we're working on a lot of different things, not just the sales growth, but also operational items. So,
Okay. Well, with your, you brought up your sales guy. He's not getting traction. Is it because he's not doing enough of the right behaviors, like picking up the phone and doing outreach, kind of like what we're doing here? Or is it more like you're giving him leads and opportunities, he's just maybe kind of wimpy and he's not taking them through a sales process, sales stages?
I think it's a mix of things. He is partially, actually the one thing he does do a lot of is picking up the phone and doing customer outreach, but the rest of the stuff I can't seem to get him motivated to do consistently, going out and, door-to-door prospecting or going out to shows, those types of things, or working meetings, that kind of stuff. So that, and then I'd say the other part of it is he's not really great at, he's getting better, but he struggles with kind of the conversation, like exactly what the conversation should be. And then the other part that we're struggling with is that kind of our website and our leads, anything that kind of organically grows leads isn't really functioning very well. So we're working on that as well.
Yeah, we hear that a lot, not unusual. And with the leads you're generating, is it one of those things where you're paying a lot of money, you're just not seeing the return on investment, or you're paying for them? But yeah, tell me about that.
The leads that we're getting are pretty much non-existent. That's the main issue. We have tried various, pay-per-click type campaigns, and we tried, the few leads we do get come in through the website, and our website's really just not, it doesn't do, anyway, it's not really worth pumping a lot of money into driving eyeballs to our website, because once they get there, people aren't really all that impressed. That's essentially where we're at.
We see that a lot in your space. What we find is, especially in your business, how good is this sales rep at getting referrals from existing clients, where he's making sure the clients are happy, but they're actively giving him referrals and introductions?
I haven't actually asked him to do that, because I do that myself. Most of the client referrals kind of go through me. It's a bit of a, I don't know. It has a lot to do with who we have, sales guy, and how it's been a bit of a trial with him, I guess is one way to put it, and not really being super confident that he was the right guy to be interfacing directly with our clients. Kind of sounds silly for our sales guy to be like that, but that's essentially it.
Okay.
We haven't really given him that leeway.
Well, Scott, can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
So we work a lot in this space. A lot of the challenges you've described, we've worked with a lot of IT companies here in the Salt Lake area. What I would suggest is we've got a survey we put together that outlines different challenges from scaling the company to business development. And what I'd suggest is you and I carve out some time to meet sometime next week. I'll give you some time to fill out that survey. Worst case scenario, you leave the meeting with a lot more clarity on how to grow revenue. Or you decide maybe you like the conversation and we talk further. I don't know if that's something you'd be open to, maybe risking carving out some time next week to meet.
So I'm still having trouble hearing you. So you have a survey that you want me to fill out, and then as far as the meeting that you're proposing, what type of meeting is it?
Let's do this. Why don't we carve out 15 minutes? If we get into the conversation, at any point, and it just looks like it's not a resource, we'll just end the meeting early. But maybe just kind of a short introduction call. We can share what we've done with these other IT managed service companies, how we've helped them grow revenue and scale. And then based on the value you see, you decide whether we keep the conversation going or not.
Okay. I'm open to that. I am curious about the questionnaire or whatever that you're sending over. How much time is that going to take out of my life?
Good question. Let's say this. Let's say you put 15 minutes into it. It would probably be worth $5,000 to $10,000 of savings, where it would just give you that kind of clarity of here's the bottlenecks in your business, here's where your guys are stuck. So maybe don't think about it as like hey, this thing's going to take me 15 minutes. Think of it as this is kind of a little mini x-ray for your business. But here's the good part is if something doesn't apply, just leave it blank. Only fill out what applies. If something doesn't look relevant, just skip it.
Okay.
What's a good day for you next week, Scott? I don't know. Would Friday work for you at all?
So Friday's actually pretty jammed up, but Wednesday could work. I've got some opening, and Thursday. Wednesday and Thursday are both pretty decent days.
Okay. Let's say we did Thursday at 2:00. Would that work for you?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll send you just kind of an email. I'll include those surveys. Anything that doesn't apply, just leave it blank. We'll keep this super focused and relevant. And I did some research. Is your email scott@clearlinkit.com?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, we're pretty easy.
Mind if I ask how you got our information?
Yeah, so
where you got us from?
We built an ideal client profile, kind of who our best clients are. And then we have a colleague who's pretty good at list building, but we then used Zoom Info and said, okay, well, let's build a list. And we came up with about 20 ideal clients, and you actually are on that list.
Okay. So you'll send an invite for that?
Yep. I'll send you a little Zoom link if that works for you. And then we'll plan on 15 minutes, but if we get 5 minutes into it and it doesn't look meaningful, we'll just end the meeting early.
Okay. All right. I will look for that link and I guess the email with the questionnaire and plan on talking to you next Thursday.
Hey, that sounds good, Scott. And Scott, one last thing. If we get to the end of the meeting and it just looks like we're not a resource, are you okay just telling us that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Perfect. Well, looking forward to it. We'll see you next Thursday, and I'll send this email to you shortly.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott.
Talk to you later. Bye.
All right. See you.
Yes.
That was, there's a lot of buzz around master classes. You can go subscribe. You want to make $1 million? Subscribe to our master class. Ladies and gentlemen, the 9 of you that might be tuning in right now, maybe 10, 20, I don't know what it is. That was a master class by the individual, Dan Bigelow. Sales Gigolo. I think that's your nickname at this point. Somebody said that.
Yes, that's awesome.
That was a master class. Now, like, if I'm somebody sitting here, be like, what the hell just happened there? because I make the calls. I try to get people on the phone, but like there's this it's weird. Like you have this stoic. You have this stoicism about you. Yet when you get into conversation, like nobody ever wants to tell you no.
Dude.
And I don't know if you can explain this because it's like I mean, this is a master class. Like I'm trying to like figure out what the hell what is this about this guy because they can't see your
write
face.
this down.
You're a little bit more beautiful than I am. I get that.
Ryan, write this down.
Hold on. I get it. Hold on 1 second.
Right, Sandler Sales Training, Sandler Sales Training. Do as much YouTube research as you can. This was the worst cold call I've ever had.
Okay, I get that. I'm writing it down, but like I'm listening to it, and there's just like this. Look, Jake and I get our teeth kicked in, but every time it's just like they just want to talk to you. What is it about it? Like
Let's break it down.
You have this tone. You have this tone, but you also have this authority. You have a framework. How the hell do I become Dan Bagger?
Dude.
Bobo Baggins. I want to become Dan Bagger. I want to be Dan Bagger. That's what I want to be.
All right. So anyone who's watching, put in the chat your lesson learned, your little insight watching that, because you all probably saw a few things that you liked or a few things you thought are super cringy and dumb. So there's a few nuances there. One is that guy. I mean, can you guys hear me pretty good? Or my mic is working, but that guy cannot hear me. So first data point is
we'll see. It's because we're running a lot of tech. So like when you're streaming it, plus it's streaming, that's probably the issue. But yeah, keep going.
Okay. So first point
we can hear you loud and clear. We can hear you loud and clear. No
stay in the conversation. Like there's lots of things going on and they're driving. And sometimes we kind of panic a little bit. We're like, oh, you're driving. Or, oh, you're about to start a meeting, but just stay in the conversation. Stay in the social tension. The second thing is this guy was allowing the conversation to happen. So we were pacing and leading. But what happened is we used our Sandler framework. We used the opening pattern interrupt. And I didn't recognize it was the right company, which maybe I should research before I cold call live instead of just dialing.
Well, hold on. Actually, I wanted to make sure we were on the right list, by the way, because you're supposed to be calling those who were already activated. So are you calling the activated leads or are you calling a cold lead?
But I don't know anything about them. I just pressed dial.
Okay, but you didn't. Anyway, yeah. Okay, go ahead. Keep going. So that the reason why that conversation persisted for a period of time was we already shook out the fucking gold, right? The nuggets. You didn't call it out, but that was an activated lead. So he already had spoken to someone who said they might be interested in some of these things. You reiterated that, which was kind of like cringy. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, are you gonna get somewhere? But yet he was involved. I'm so hung up on this, like. Dude, if you're a student of cold calling, and I know, like, I don't care if this gets down to like 10 people who are only the student of this. This is a master class, dude. Like, Dan, you are a legitimate savant when it comes to like keeping people engaged with your practice. That's what I'm seeing right now. Like, what was happening there? That was a master class of a call right there.
Well, let me tell you what's going on. All right.
Let's just move on to Jake because I'm pretty. Are we gonna move on? This is an activated lead.
Hello, you've reached out to look at. Please leave your name, number, and a brief message.
Big picture is confidence, conviction. Follow the framework, opening pattern interrupt, mini upfront contract, 30-second commercial.
Well, I mean, Pitar, you have to be pretty special.
Hey, Mark, it's Jake Alba.
Oh, hey, how are you?
Hey, doing well with Sandler Training.
This is the
Go ahead. I missed you. I'm driving right now. So what did you say about the training?
Oh yeah, this is Jake Alba with Sandler Training.
Okay.
And I was just following up. I know one of my colleagues had reached out to you.
And I got so much going on right now, and I've got so many calls. To refresh my memory about what you guys do.
Yeah, of course. We do training and consulting. Mainly, we focus on sales development, scaling, growing companies. Is that helping to ring a bell at all?
Not exactly.
Okay.
So
yeah, maybe my colleague messed up here, but he did mention that he was going to send over an email with some additional information and maybe a survey. Not sure if that's helping to resonate at all.
I don't remember seeing that. But you guys specialize in employee training, you said?
Yeah, we do training and consulting.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe I guess
it's like sales consulting, or what type of training? What type of consulting?
Yeah, I guess would it be okay if I just briefly explain how we've helped companies similar to yours, and then you can let me know if it makes sense for us to have a conversation? Okay. So we work with a lot of different companies that are doing supplements and vitamins similar to yours. And you know, what we generally hear with them is they're a little bit frustrated that maybe they're not getting in front of the right prospects at a consistent basis. Another thing we hear is, you know, maybe we're concerned that we have plenty of meetings, but maybe those meetings aren't necessarily converting into like sales or new business or revenue for the company. They're kind of getting stalled out, or we're having to discount. And the last thing we hear is, you know, we're under pressure at closing, and just making sure that we're not having to kind of give away the house here with discounts and special options for people. And so the margins are kind of suffering from that. Let me stop there. Is any of that kind of relevant to you or your business?
Yes and no. So basically, we do a lot of white label manufacturing, and then we have some of our own brands that we're selling, and we have products that we're, you know, meeting with big companies like 99 Cent Store, Target.
Right.
Like right now, I'm trying to deal with Costco, and I'm not ready to strangle the guy, the buyer at Costco. But
yeah.
But anyways, we're dealing with big companies that their minimum orders are 10,000 or above.
Sure. No, that's exactly why I reached.
And that's in quantities, like MOQs of 10K and above.
Sure.
For quantities.
Yeah, that's pretty common. That's kind of why I'm reaching out. Some of the other companies that we work with are doing similar, you know, sales, and they do a lot of white label stuff as well. But they also sell directly to the consumer. It sounds like, you know, maybe I caught you while you're driving. Are you on the road right now?
You did, yeah. I'm just going to a network event.
The work never stops. I can relate. So would it be okay if I guess, made a suggestion?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe what we do is we carve, you know, 10, 15 minutes aside sometime next week when you're not driving or in the middle of something, and we can discuss a little bit further how we've helped different supplement businesses similar to yours. And we can kind of dive into what challenges they've seen and how we've helped them.
Okay, so originally you probably contacted me through High Energy Labs, right?
Yeah, that probably is what it was from.
Okay, so I'm in the middle of selling that company, and I'm working with another company called Nature's Fusions.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And that's why I'm trying to figure out how we could work together. It's naturesfusions.com.
Yeah.
So I'm doing product development for them. I'm doing all their branding, all their marketing. I do a lot of like corporate things for them as well. So, you know, they're not a huge company. They probably do about 10, 15 million a year.
Sure. No, and what I can do.
We're trying to expand that and try to get it moving into
they're really good at making products for other people's brands, but they're not so good at promoting their own brands, and that's what they brought me on for.
Ah, no, that makes sense. Well, what I can do also is I can send over what's called a top priority survey. And that survey will help us to just focus on the things that are important to you, kind of what you're trying to do within your company, and how you're helping it to grow. And so that'll give us, a pretty good idea of where we can help you. So let's do this. I'll send that survey to you, but let's get some time to kind of review that for next week, maybe 10, 15 minutes. What's your schedule looking like for next week?
I don't know yet. I haven't really looked at it. Right now, it's probably open depending on what time and what day. There's definitely time. So why don't you email it to me, Mark, M-A-R-K, at naturesfusions.com. It's natures with an S, fusions with an S.
Okay. .com. Okay.
.com.
So which day, I guess, is better for you, or your guess, I guess, a little bit less busy?
I don't know, probably like Tuesday or Wednesday, sometime then.
Okay, I do have some availability on Wednesday in the afternoon.
That's perfect.
Okay.
We can shoot for that.
So what I'll do is I'll put a tentative time, but I'll call you that Tuesday before just to make sure that still works. How does 1 or 2 p.m. sound for you for Wednesday?
That's fine. Are we talking like mountain time?
Yeah, mountain time. Uh-huh.
That's fine.
Okay. So I'll get this sent over to you for 1 p.m. Mountain time on Wednesday the 30th. But I'm also going to send that survey, so keep an eye out for that. It may take 10, 15 minutes to fill out, but that's really going to help us to be respectful of your time and only really discuss the things that are important to you and your team and the company when we connect on Wednesday, okay?
All right, sounds good.
All right, and just one last thing, and then I'll get out of your hair, let you get to your networking event. Let's say next week when we meet, we get 5 minutes into the meeting and it doesn't look like it's a good fit. Are you going to be okay with telling me that, and we'll just end the call early?
Oh, of course. Of course, yeah.
And then on the flip side, let's say the meeting goes well. Obviously, no decisions need to be made today, but what that kind of looks like is if it does look like you want to maybe take the next step, we would then do an assessment, which is just an X-ray. It's a $300. And that's just what the next step looks like, just so you're aware of that and it's in your head in case you do want to move that route, okay?
All right.
All right. Well, I look forward to meeting with you next week. We'll go ahead and get that invite sent out to you and that survey, and then I'll follow up with you on Tuesday. Is this the best number to reach you at, or?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, and can you get text on this phone?
Can I get what?
Text.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, make sure you have the right number. You call 435, or did you call the 1-800 number?
The 435.
Oh yeah, call 435.
Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing.
Cool, Mark. I got that. I got that all taken care of, and I'll send that invite and the survey over to you. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
Hey, drive safe. We'll talk to you later.
All right, see you.
All right, bye.
Okay, later.
Yes.
Okay. So, while the Dan Bagger didn't address it this way, Jake, can we just give Jake another shot? Because he's 1 for 1. He's 100% converter. Let's just go. Let's keep giving him the activated leads because apparently Dan doesn't know how to take care of them. Jake, let's go to another call. Let's see what happens because you're 100% conversion on activated leads. Let's go again. Let's see what happens when Dan. Let's see what happens when Jake, the snake, Jake, the albapaws. Oh man, Dan has an ego. It's really big. It's like getting. Oh my goodness. So that was 100%. Jake is 100% on activated leads at this point. 100% converted.
Hello, this is Dan of Ira Express.
Hey, Dan, this is Jake Alba
I'm sorry, with who?
Sandler Training.
Okay, what can I do for you, Jake?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that name sounds familiar or not.
Nope, it does not.
Okay. I thought that one of my colleagues said he had reached out to you guys a little bit earlier. I thought he maybe might have mentioned that he connected. I'm not sure if maybe an email came through from him or not.
Yeah, I don't know, but what can I do for you, Jake?
Okay. Sounds like maybe not, but yeah, I guess would it be okay if I briefly explained why on earth I'm following up with you, and then you can decide whether or not you want to have a conversation?
Nope, I don't think so. I appreciate it, though, Jake. Have a great day. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Oh!
And that is
Cowbunga, baby.
and that is an example of the fact that as much as we think we have the hottest leads in the world, sometimes Jake, let's get back on the phone. Let's go. That's 50% conversion. I don't actually want to. I just want to hear Jake talk. I don't know. Dan makes it look too seamless. I want to hear Jake.
Dude, Dan is the master.
Skip.
I don't even know how to skip the dang call. I don't know how to use a CRM.
Go again. I'm so curious. Let's go.
We're trying.
What I want to know as well, because I want to show this off. Yeah, isn't a tie who?
Skip it.
Here's like a really good. Yes. See that? Zach knows what's up.
Goodbye.
Zach and Nip. So, what we want to look at that last one, Jake. By the way, because I want to look at this. So the first one that you had like a really good conversation with. Who do you remember the name of the person that you booked a meeting with? Mark.
It was Mark. I don't remember the last name though.
Yep, that's okay. He received the email and opened it. So that's good. And then what was the last one that just told you to? No, I didn't know that. What was his name?
Do you remember? I think it was Dan Anderson. Dan.
Yeah. Yep. Never opened it. So it was like a brush off. So here's the, again, it's a tactic, right? But we're still in this awareness phase. But like, let's see what happens. And I want to see what continues here, because we're having conversations at a whole nother level with those that are actually ready to convert. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a whole different dynamic for sure.
One more time, and then we can go back to Dan. I don't want to make any calls because honestly, I've never actually made no calls. I've never done this before, so I want to know what it's like to make no calls, right? Like if I was Billy Madison trying to Blue Duck, I'm going to do the opposite. It's not going to do it.
Take it easy, Ryan. You've earned it.
Yeah, I just want to sit back, sip my juice. And Dan's pretty upset right now. So
I might look upset. I just don't know how to like end the call, so I had to exit out of the whole program and restart it. Ryan, can you share some thoughts on why hold music's important and how we can use it in our prospecting?
I mean, you have to develop a proper dance. You have to develop a proper dance.
Like with instruments?
Well, I mean, sometimes you have to have a flute or.
Thank you for calling Action Machinery. If you know your party's 3-digit extension, please dial it at any time. For a company directory, press pound. For parts inquiries, press 1. For service, 2. For machinery
I
sales,
also hope that a lot of people are paying attention to the fact that most of the calls that we make that get these connects are not direct dials. Like honestly, like in our sessions, we do a lot of navigation. We talk to gatekeepers, we dial through trees before they get to
calling Action Machinery.
Most people don't see that, understand that,
for a company
and
directory,
appreciate that. The fact that like when you actually navigate and you have the path, it actually gets you through to the right people.
If you know your party's 3-digit extension, please dial it at any time. For a company.
No? Did you guys, I know you like to leave a lot of voicemails, but outside of leaving voicemails for no apparent reason, did you like to like get through navigation and documentation of path and things like that.
Hello, this is Eric.
Hey, Eric. Dan Bigelow, Sandler Training.
Sorry, say that again.
Dan Bigelow, Sandler Training. Not sure if that name sounds familiar.
No, sorry.
Wasn't sure about what I had one of my colleagues reach out last week, but maybe he never made it through. Well, Eric, it would be okay if I briefly explain why I called, and then you decide if it even makes sense for us to talk.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead really quick.
All right, I'll be brief. So I work a lot with successful business owners in your industry. Our company is a consulting and training firm specifically in the areas of scaling companies and increasing sales. And as far as business development goes, Eric, are you doing most of the business development yourself, or do you have a team that's doing all that?
Yeah. Do you know what industry I'm in?
Financial services.
Yeah. Do you know what that means?
You are a financial planner.
No, I'm not. Anyway, so I appreciate the call. You probably, I don't know how you got my number, but we're in good shape. We've got a good sales team and are able to scale. So
Perfect. Well, Eric, can I ask you one last question?
sure.
Do your salespeople make cold calls like this? Do they do outreach?
No.
Okay.
No, they don't.
Just was curious. Well, Eric, would you be opposed if I sent you a short email that just showed some of the problems we solve? And then if any of that's even worth a conversation, maybe you could reply back to the email. But if not, you could reply back with never contact you again ever. Would it be okay if I sent you an email?
I'm probably not going to be interested because I'm not describing even comes close to what we're doing.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, Eric, I appreciate your time. You too, brother. Thanks, Eric.
You bet. You bet. Bye.
Cowbung the baby.
Okay, so we're gonna land the plane here because hold on. You can make some calls right now, but you guys have to chat in your learnings from today. I got to jump to a call in 7 minutes, so we need to get the spinner. James is going to collect the results, so everybody who's shared their learnings, share the learnings here. So the headset giveaway, please share your learnings, and we'll make sure we get that. We're going to release one more call, and then we're going to make sure we give the headset giveaway to land the plane this week. I have to jump at 3 o'clock today, or a little bit after 3. I got to be on by 3:05. So let's make sure we wrap this up. We're going to land with our learnings from this week, and make sure we provide the headset giveaway. So chat it in. Make sure you have
1 0 0 2.
Yeah, it's a good one, right? Big takeaway right there. How often do you guys see that?
Taylor Carpet, thanks for calling. At the Provo store, press 1. For Lehigh, press 2. Thanks.
Provo.
Thank you for calling Taylor Carpets and Flooring in Provo.
We've done a lot of work.
Is that Utah? Is that Utah? Is that the University of Utah?
Yeah, I was wondering if Matt is floating around office today.
He is. Max is calling.
Yeah, if you could let him know that Jake Alba is on the line.
Okay, great. Give me just a moment. Let me see if I can grab him real quick, okay?
Thank you.
Hello, Taylor Carpet.
Hey, is this Matt?
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, this is Jake Alba.
Okay.
Is that name sounding familiar?
Let me look here. Did I do a quote for you? If I did, I apologize if I...
No, I don't think you did a quote, but does Sandler Training help ring a bell at all?
What is it called?
Sandler Training.
Sandler Training?
Sandler, so it's Sandler. Sandler.
Oh, Sandler Training?
Yeah. It's a little tricky.
Huh.
So
Really?
not ringing a bell.
Not especially.
No, no worries. One of my colleagues had reached out and
Right, Sandler Sales Training, Sandler Sales Training.
maybe I'm just I don't know. Did that email come through, or is that just the oblivion for you?
Not that I know of. I
Okay.
have it here. Sandler.
Yes,
I don't have anything. I mean, I have something from 11/24. Goal setting the Sandler way.
Yeah.
Somebody sent something to me in November, but
Oh, so quiet. All right, maybe I'll do this. Is it okay if I briefly explain kind of why we're reaching out, and then you can let me know if it's even worth a conversation?
yeah, I'm really not interested, and I'm super busy right now, so I would say no. That'd be all right.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I'm not gonna twist your arm, but I guess would it be okay if I sent you a survey and we can show you how we've helped other carpet businesses, and if there's nothing there, you can just tell me to get lost, or if there is something there.
I know I'm not going to fill out the survey, so I would just say probably not. I just don't have time to do it. So
That's fair.
I'm just not
I appreciate the honesty at least. So yeah, no worries. We'll end the call and have a great day.
Hey, thank you. You too.
Hey, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Kicked in the teeth. Okay, we're gonna spin the wheel. I gotta jump to a meeting here in 3 minutes. So honestly, this is so fascinating to me. Like we hear, like I will go and pull up the recordings for these. What was the name of that person? Dan or Jake? What was the name of that person?
I don't even remember.
Matt. It was Matt.
Oh, Matt Taylor.
But I want the audience to recognize.
Oh, the wheel.
Matt Taylor.
So I want the audience to recognize
Taylor Carpet. So he was an opener. He opened the email, and yet he told you he has no idea what you're talking about. So if you're a rep, depending on email and content and stuff like that, like nothing matters until you have a conversation. That's the point.
Agreed.
Anyway.
And Jake knows, he doesn't care if they opened it or not, if they know who he is, but Jake's doing all that for a pattern interrupt. They're like, oh, God, I'm not seeing the email. We're spending a minute trying to figure out who the heck Jake is, and he's looking on his email, but we're breaking the pattern. Jake's not coming out, pulling up sales walls, triggering the prospect to run away. And depending on the disc style of the prospect, some of them are a little more faster paced, some of them are slower. But the magic is pacing and leading, reading the beats of the call. And Jake is incredible at these pattern interrupts. But any other call, just recognize that Jake interrupted the pattern. He moved to phase 2 and he asked for permission, and the guy shot it down. He said no, and that's okay. We can move on. But the purpose of the pattern interrupt is to open the conversation without triggering someone. So that was well executed. Nice job, Jake. Let's run the wheel.
And hold on with the wheel. It's coming around and coming around. I want to know, with all of that we just talked about, what is really success and what's not. So like today, how many total dials did we make? Because we had more talk time than probably ever. How many dials did we make today? Like 5?
Yeah, 5 or 6.
5 dials.
5 or 6, and like three conversations and 2 appointments.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what we just accomplished today. Like, not a lot of fluff, lots of conversation. Maybe it is or it isn't. Some shut down quickly, but that was, I don't know, the most efficient. Who do we win here? Sippo!
Yes!
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Yes.
Oh, hell yes! Sipple.
All right, Ryan, play the Tom Cruise video of you being Tom Cruise, and let's end on that note, brother.
What normally people don't call and have the same success you guys had today. Normally what happens is what? Again, not going to be doing a lot of talking in between. We're just doing a session right now and try to get to four conversations in 15 minutes. Is it possible? Well, it is with phone ready leads.
Cowabunga, baby.
Ryan, you wrote a book on outside sales. You just asked the CEO for 15 minutes of his time as the worst sales pitch call he's ever gotten.
Oh,
I'm sorry, this call's really weird.
why is that? And is there a better time for a callback?
Probably not.
Okay.
On to the next one. On to the next.